So we're at RTX. We're at the Loadout booth with Ian, and we're gonna this Loadout game. We've been seeing it for a while. You can see it right behind you.
Yep.
Tell us about it. It's a free-to-play game, but what makes this game so special?
Okay, so I think there are two things worth talking about here. So in addition to the amazing art style that you see here, we have a game that has a real shout out to old school fast-paced shooters. We have a big platforming component to our movement package. So that's the moment-to-moment shooter experience. It's really fast-paced compared to other shooters that are out there right now. But then we have our deep customization system that revolves around weapon crafting. All the guns you see in this game are made by players, by a whole bunch of interchangeable modular parts that you can mix and match to make whatever gun you want. There are no pre-made weapons in the game.
So no pre-made. So that means that whenever people start up the game for the first time, that they're going to have to make their own weapon?
Alright, so the first player experience, we're going to give you a starter kit. Those are weapons that we're like, hey, these are safe weapons that are made out of the weapon crafting system. You'll be able to dismantle those for parts to make whatever kind of gun you want.
And what kind of differences are going to be between the weapons? What can you do to one weapon to make it different than the other?
Alright, so this is actually where I think we really excel. We pride ourselves in the kind of variety that we offer up. A lot of games, there will be little differences like, this does 5% more damage, this does 10% more healing or something like that. But our differences are substantial. So you can have a regular rocket launcher, you can attach a guided missile scope to it, and all of a sudden you can steer that rocket around in the level. Then you can attach the sticky shell to it so that it sticks to the wall. Then you can attach the manual detonator to that, and then you can manually choose when to explode it, so then you have a manual proximity mine that you steer into the right location that you want. So really the combinations are pretty wild.
And it's free to play with all the customization. So what are you guys planning on doing to keep the game fresh?
Alright, so we definitely plan to update the game through a series of regular updates where, hey, here are new weapon parts. We'll do some major updates. One of the first things we've talked about doing is getting a big clan update out so people can form their own groups of players to play together. Really, it's going to be driven by the community, so it's up to you guys to decide what you want us to make, and we'll make it for you.
And with free-to-play, everybody, one of the big things is microtransactions.
Right.
And, of course, the whole pay-to-win.
Right.
Give us a quick spiel on that. What's going to be y'all's take on this?
All right, so this is the big pay-to-win question, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so don't worry. We're really big players of free-to-play games at work. And so we definitely don't want to be a pay-to-win game. We have a rule in the design department that anything that gives you a competitive advantage in the game, you can earn without spending a dime. We actually go a little bit further than that even, so that there are some parts in the game that you can only get by playing. You can't even buy them. So again, really serious about not being pay-to-win. We want you guys to have a really good experience without having to spend any money at all.
And you mentioned that there's a single player as well as multiplayer. Could you give me a quick rundown? What do we expect in single player, and what's going to be there in the multiplayer?
Actually, this is only a this is only a multiplayer experience. With that being said, you can play by yourself in weapon crafting, and you can always go in there by yourself and try out all the weapons. Actually, that's a really cool way to learn how to play the game. It functions as a pretty good training mode to get your feet wet and understand how the weapons come together.
What kind of modes are there going to be for multiplayer right now?
Okay, so right now you're looking at Control Point Rush. This is a variant on King of the Hills, a game type that's very similar to it. We also have brought to the show a game called Death Snatch. It's similar to Kill Confirmed. We also have a Capture the Flag game mode, and we also have our very original game mode, which we're still trying to come up with a name for, but for the time being we'll call it Red Rover. And we actually have a few more that we have at home, but we're probably going to release with a small subset so that we don't overwhelm people with all the things out there. Yeah, we're going to keep on working on it and see what's popular and see what happens after that.
All right, excellent. Well, that's Loadout, Ian. Thank you very much for your time, and it looks like a great game.
Thank you very much. For those of you that haven't already, you can sign up for the beta at worldwideweb.loadout.com. Thank you.